Let me go to Kathy in Massachusetts, which is having a great time with that universal health care from Mitt Romney, a Republican. Hi, Kathy. Go ahead.
Hi, Kath. Yeah, that's right, Glenn. I think you better pick your head up and put it back on your shoulders because it's rolling all over the ground right now.
Yes.
We've got people out there that are really sick that do need health care.
Oh,
and
my
when
goodness.
people like you turn around and subject people to this kind of rhetoric that don't have insurance because they can't afford it and they've been laid off.
I know.
Where do they get it?
Where do they get it?
You know, your family, let me tell you something, Glenn.
Yes.
Obviously, nobody in your family has had an illness that they couldn't
my
get
family
treated
has
for.
never, ever had an illness. You're right. And anybody, you know what, Kathy, you are so right. No. That they couldn't pay for? Let me just tell you something. You are right. I read in the story all the time about the people who are dying on the streets because they can't go to a hospital and get health care. You're exactly right. We are letting people die left and right in this country.
Can't afford anymore.
Oh, we can't afford anymore. So you must, of course, be.
They're going broke.
Oh, they can't afford it.
Doors.
Right, you're right, and that's why the country can afford it. The country can afford it. Don't worry about that going broke. Don't worry about that.
Industrial country in this world that doesn't have health care. What the hell is wrong with you? And we are
the only country in the world where leaders come from every other country to get health care when they can't get the right kind of health care in their own country. We have presidents, we have prime ministers, we have speakers of the parliament in Australia that can't get the prostate treatments and have to come to this country to get it. So you're right. You're right. We should adapt all of those things. And Canada has a great health care. That's why people are suing. That's why in Canada they have a lottery. They have a lottery system. Who gets to go see a doctor this month in Canada? Go ahead.
How about the Netherlands, Glenn?
How about the Netherlands?
Yeah, how about France and Italy where you just go in and sign a paper?
You're right.
And the doctors don't have to fight with the insurance companies.
Tell me, Kathy, about the insurance program that they do have in France. Tell me about it.
There are people that go over there and they are on vacation. If they have a problem, all they have to do is walk into the clinics or the hospitals and sign their name. The doctors do not have to be bothered signing insurance forms.
So in other words, a person. Hang on, I want to make sure I understand. So a non-citizen can go over to a hospital and walk in and get emergency treatment. That never happens here.
I'm asking you a logical question. And
I'm giving you a logical answer.
You don't have logic.
You're right.
Where's your logic? What would you do? I'm asking you, what would you do to change this healthcare system for the better? After all, every time you people bring up cost, you don't care about the trillions of dollars to bail out the banks and all the credit card companies.
Kathy, get off my phone! Get off my phone, you little pinhead! Let me be real honest with you, and I don't think anybody on talk radio, I don't think anybody in their right mind is going to ever say this out loud, but I wonder if I'm the only one that feels this way. You know, it took me about a year to start hating the 9/11 victims' families. It took me about a year. And I had such compassion for them, and I really, I wanted to help them, and I was behind, let's give them money, let's get started, all of this stuff. And I really didn't, all the 3,000 victims' families, I don't hate all of them. I hate probably about 10 of them. But when I see, 9/11 victim family, on television or whatever, I'm just like, oh, shut up. I'm so sick of them because they're always complaining, and we did our best for them. And it's only about 10. But the second thought that I had when I saw these people and they had to shut down the Astrodome and lock it down, I thought, I didn't think I could hate victims faster than the 9/11 victims. These guys, when you see, and it's really sad, we're not hearing anything about Mississippi. We're not hearing anything about Alabama. We're hearing about the victims in New Orleans. This is a 90,000 square mile disaster site, New Orleans is 181 square miles. 108.2% of the disaster area is New Orleans. And that's all we're hearing about are the people in New Orleans. Those are the only ones that we're seeing on television are the scumbags. Again, and it's not all of the people in New Orleans. Most of the people in New Orleans got out. It's just a small percentage of those who were left in New Orleans or who decided to stay in New Orleans, and they're getting all of the attention. It's exactly like the 9/11 victims' families. There's about 10 of them that are spoiling it for everybody.
Sarah Palin and what she said over the weekend that there would be a death panel for her son, Trig. That's quite a statement. I believe it to be true, but that's quite a statement. She also called healthcare, this Obama healthcare, evil. I believe she at least should be listened to, and you should question, is it evil?
I believe the paradigm in America has changed. Charges like racism deserve to be heard and the evidence debated, if there is evidence. But there usually isn't.
She sure sounds like a racist here. Do you think she's a racist, Randy?
Do you think that was racist? I said yesterday that I thought she was a racist and I got heat for it.
I don't know where to go on our Supreme Court Justice nominee. I think the woman is a racist.
This president, I think, has exposed himself as a guy over and over and over again who has a deep-seated hatred for white people or the white culture. I don't know what it is. This guy is, I believe, a racist.
I think the president is a racist. I stand by that.
Gosh, that smacks of racism, but maybe it's just me, Ed.